Drum Circle News again, meeting with the Jack and Ysdiro as well as Jose Luis. But today we have a special guest joining us, Native Media Keith Vasquez. So I'm really happy to have this opportunity. We've put in a lot of work developing these intertribal relationships, and it's nice to be here at the Res conference and then just happen to run into these folks and then further develop and let those relationships come into fruition of what we've been designing. So, Jack, what brings you guys out here?
So one of the main goals here is that we wanted to, I think there's an opportunity to do some trade of sorts because there's a lot of indigenous farms in Mexico that we're looking to bring back into the United States, specifically into Native American tribes. Because I think there's a gap. As you know and I know, there's a lot of food deserts that are out there. And if we can help fill that gap, that's really our number one goal. So that's why we invited Jose Luis to come out and actually maybe share a little more about how their farm workers union, the Mexican farm workers union called UNTA, how they can actually help bridge that gap for all of us.
Yeah, you want to? Okay, you got one. All right.
Yeah, La Junta is been helping farmers workers for almost 46 years. Oh, past. We complete last year 46 years already. And what we're doing is working with the small and medium farmers workers. They've been having a lot of trouble with big companies, a lot of scams. They don't make money. So we want to avoid that. That's the reason that we want to work with tribes on the Mexican side and then on the American side so they can work together.
So what I hear what you're saying is you're working with commercial grocery stores right now, and they're pretty much raking you over the coals.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What they do is they buy the whole produce like in a year, advance 2 years, and for pennies. And we want to avoid that. That has been for a long time, and we don't want to. They're tired. They're done.
So this initiative is about bringing tribal sovereignty, food sovereignty to the nations, showing other Native American people as well as the Americans and Mexican government that we don't need the government to take care of us. Our tribal nations, we can do this on our own. We have our own resources, and we don't need their economy. We can come together and support each other.
Pretty much, that's what it is. You know, because it's been over 100 years or more, and we actually you say the right word. We don't need no government. We don't need no middle man. You know, we can do it ourselves, and we're gonna do it happy because we brothers, and we're gonna do the best way, the best way to perform, and for the good of all the tribes.
Abundance.
Yes.
Abundance. Do you have anything to add, Ysdiro?
Well, to me, it was initially I wanted to build that bridge because I live right on the border, and I noticed the difference in inequality. So our tribal people in Mexico, they have a lot of issues trying to get their products across or to sell them. Normally, they're always getting nickels on a dollar item, and so I got tired of seeing that. So I said, how can I be part of this and help them build that bridge so we can get our nations working together as one team, one circle to make it better for everybody.
Okay, yeah, let me step in and
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
you a
I'll
question.
take it,
From what I'm hearing, corporate America is coming in, paying you because ahead of time for nothing, giving you guys nothing. The people are doing it, making no money. So what I'm tell me, this is a vision I got. You run the labor's union, right?
Right.
You got the farmers, the growers.
Right.
How about you guys bring crews and show us how to do it on our tribes? Show us how to grow. Show us how to do that. And in the meantime, while we're learning, we buy the produce from you guys because we know we working to pick that. You want people to do it with care, right? You don't want them out there angry, growing the food, not making no money. You want to pay them for what they're worth.
Yeah, actually, we talked to Jack about a program that we have. This is the food they grow in Mexico. Is, yeah, the food that we grow in Mexico, the tribes, is being like the old, how do you say, the old way, old
The old
style?
ways to cultivate,
Right.
not like going
The old way to
organic.
Right.
Doing it by hand instead of having the heavy equipment and all that. And that's why they don't want to lose tradition of the old ways, how they learned how to
Right.
do that.
So-
growing the corn, the vegetables.
Doing it with love, basically.
Yes.
Doing it from here.
So,
Not
so,
yes.
so we do have a program that we are going to show, and we're working on it.
Nice.
We're working on it. So the same thing they grow in Mexico, they can do it on this side.
Over here.
Yes. So we're gonna get educated, and we're gonna transport that education to do it here with the tribes.
That would be great. And we would be, I'm a running
We're on it.
nonprofit Native Youth Foundation. So as soon as you get it, we'll bring you guys out. We
Yeah.
work with over 21 tribes in Southern California, all over San Diego and Riverside County. I'm from Sapo Squaw Reservation. I would bring it to my tribe. Like Jack was saying, Dylan was saying, I'm sorry about that. We need our own sovereignty. We need to grow back who we are. And you guys are already doing that. And I think with you guys showing the farming, putting your hands into it, your culture, your blood, sweat, and tears, that it'll show our youth, our people, the fruits of the labor, right? You get stuff that's grown right, you know?
I think it's about time to get connected. You know,
Right.
why we separate? Why? Who did that? You know, we need to get together and do what we do.
Yes,
You know?
yes, agree.
And we don't need nobody. You know, we don't need a middle person. We don't need no officials. You know,
We do it ourselves.
right? That's
And-
the proper way to do it. We've done it before. Why not doing it right now?
Because like you said, what divided us? That line, that government, when they put a line, it said Mexico, America, that line. So it's an imaginary line, right? That they put on us.
So it's funny. I always say, we didn't cross the border crossed us.
Yeah,
Right.
yes,
Right.
no, yes.
So with that, I'm going to chime in a little bit because that's actually, I'm glad that Karen's here as well.
Thank you.
Is that ultimately what I think a lot of the education we're all talking about, that is where the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and your program can actually help with the educational component. Because I think that's my opinion. So-
Absolutely. So if I may describe what our program is and what we're about, but before I do that, I don't know if you all know who Mr. Albert Pooley is. He is the director of Native American Fatherhood and Family Association based out of Arizona. And he always said something, and he allows me to call him my Navajo dad. And he says this, he says, "You belong to us, we belong to you, we belong to each other. How do we work together?" So when I'm talking to communities, this is what's always going through my mind. Because like you said, what happened in this emergence, this imaginary border, right? It takes all of us working together. I do work for the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We are federally funded with the grant, from the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency. But I'll tell you this much, it takes everybody working together to get to where we are. So my boss, Monica Villalobos, she made a comment once. She says, raise your hand if you support Hispanic businesses. Raise your hand if you support Native American businesses. I consider you a Hispanic business owner. I consider you a Native American business owner. We have got to work together. So the program that we have really talks about the foundation, like what you said, the education piece. When we start looking at the work that we do, we have to be revenue generating business enterprises. Profit generating business enterprises. We do have to raise our youth. We have to teach them, how, like you said, our forefathers and what we've done before in order to have sustainability practices. But it takes everybody working together to do that. So when we come into play, we do teach the education piece. We teach the foundation piece. How do you start your business? How do you grow your business? How do you create jobs? How do you retain jobs? How do you go after different types of funding in order to, for the communities to still come together? How do we all work together? That's where we come into play.
And here's one that actually I saw in a slide that you did a couple of days ago, is how do businesses repair their credit in order to extend their line? Because a lot of them, especially during COVID, we experienced that where a lot of businesses were in pretty bad shape.
Right.
But luckily, we're able to give them some money, but not the same amount where somebody had a good credit score.
Right.
So the credit score of that business owner matters. And the fact that you guys have a program that probably is, again, another best kept secret. that
It
people
is,
don't
and
know about.
I just apropos today I have my shirt on, right? So the Capital Readiness Program. So we help businesses no matter where they are. We help get them the education side. We help them with their business recovery in terms of credit scores. So we've seen some very unique credit scores come through. I've seen something as low as 520, 530. Okay, that's okay. Come on over. Come on over. All it does, what is it? Those phone calls. It just takes just picking up the phone, writing a letter, right? But we come in and we help with that education piece. One of our clients, one of our contractors, we pay for a soft credit pull. If you want your credit repaired, you can pay him your own time, because we believe in revenue generating, working through our contractors, but we get you that baseline piece. We help you no matter where you are in your business. So we have seen our clients right now through one of our community partners, another contractor, Raza Development, offer loans for people who have credit scores at 650 going all the way up to $250,000, right? There's, it's 5% interest over 5 years. Who can beat that, right? So there's a lot of different things that we're doing. We also believe in working with our communities. In life, I come from a very strong military family. We were having this amazing conversation, and also thank you for your service. And my father and my parents also served. But when we start talking about how do we work together as a community, you have got to communicate. We've got to work. Yes, we have leaders that are people who are named leaders that are out there. That's great. But we're all in this room together. Look at the diversity of the folks here. Look at the diversity of the people that are outside of this room, and we're working together. We know how to get this started. Again, at the end of the day, what do we want? We want profit-generating businesses, right? We want more education for the people that we're working with, the business side of it, and that's where we come into play.
And I think that's where, going back to your point, that's where we start showing a little bit of independence and not being so dependent. And I think the young lady yesterday, outside a minute ago, was talking about some of this artisan work that happens both in Mexico and in Native American land that we don't know what each other has. You have to travel to these countries to go find it. But why? Why can we not build that gap and kind of work together and say, hey, we need each other. We are one nation. We are the Native Americas. Native Americas, that's what we are. We are one nation. And I think that's what we got to look at, is that we're all one people. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Yes. Yeah.
We are one people.
Yeah.
And I like that idea of us bringing the authentic art here at our art galleries from your guys' people, are taking our authentic art down to your galleries in Mexico.
Why not?
Why not? And it should be
Share the
as
knowledge.
easy as we don't have to call, let's go, let's work together, like she's saying, and we make it happen. We bring it down, you bring it there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it is. It's got to start somewhere, right?
It's gotta start
and
somewhere.
it starts here, this conversation, and
that's
then
what created
hopefully
the
a
ripple
week,
effect.
we start, and then we start delivering. He's in San Diego. I'm 45 minutes from him, literally. Yeah, I'm of San Diego Valley View. So this is exciting times because that's what it's about. I listen to Pink Floyd, and one of their songs goes, together we stand, divided we fall.
Right.
And I think today is the time we have to, especially these times with the new administration, we have to stand together.
We do.
It's mandated, like we have to. Any other way would be uncivilized.
With all administrations, we have to stand
Oh,
together.
there we go.
With
Yeah,
absolute,
you're
all
right.
of them.
Oh,
We have
there
to,
we go.
right? It's
No,
everybody
yeah.
has their thing, right? That's great. But here we are, right here again, holding hands. We are here. We're working together. So when you start looking at your artisans, when we start looking at our indigenous artisans, think about in Europe, they still believe in cowboys and Indians. They want that artwork. And guess what? They're going to pay for it. And what we need to do is teach our indigenous people, how are we pricing these appropriately? I just shared a story I shared a story before you joined us. At one of the conferences when we first got our grant with the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, serving our American Indians, Alaska Natives, Native Hawaiians. I was at a conference, and this woman was beading all day long. That's all she was doing, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay. I don't know how much it's gonna cost. I'm gonna pull out a credit card and hope it goes through, right? So she charged me $35. I was mad. I didn't say anything, walked down the way, got some earrings, $35. So I had to ask my colleagues at NAFA, I'm not understanding what's up with the $35, because if she would have told me a price, I would have paid whatever price she told me. And it's because she needed money to get back home. We don't do that. That's not how we price. Yeah. We don't price like that. We are not, again, we're not revenue generating. We want to be profit generating, and all that work, that's authentic. That's blood. That's knowledge that's passed down from generation to generation. You can't buy that, right? And $35. And we have to be careful with that, because we don't want someone else taking advantage and saying, oh, $35, we're going to go ahead and take advantage, and we're going to sell it for $1,000, right?
More.
Right.
Yeah, and go and buy 50 pairs of earrings for that price, and then like you said, go dub sell them.
Right.
Triple, quadruple,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
yes, and that's I like that.
Totally
Thing
exploiting.
of not exploiting our people.
Yes.
Yeah, profiting off, because a lot of the people who do the work are older, older women,
Yes.
ladies who they put their heart into it, and they, like you said, you had a good comment. Is there is no price on that art, because that's
Right.
one of one.
Right.
So I'm
That
going to
means-
share something too. Also, during COVID, we discovered this. So I was working closely with the SBDC at the time, and the number one question I got asked during that time was, "I don't know how to price my services. I don't know how to price myself." People were charging $20 an hour when they should have been charging 200.
Yes.
People were charging $50 an hour when they should have been charging maybe 250. But they were like, "We don't know how to do this, Jack. Nobody is around to teach us how to do it." Well, can you tell us? Can you? I'm like, well, let's break it down. How much time do you spend on it? So when you really break it down to the ridiculous, because that's what Zorak taught me. Hey, break it to the ridiculous and then work your way back, and that's how you price out. But nobody teaches our people that. Nobody teaches our people
No.
that.
And
None
that
at
goes
all.
across all of our hands, right? All
Yes.
cultures, all subcultural cultures. It's absolutely everybody. How do we? And the reason why it's because we have a hard time talking about ourselves. How many of us can even write a resume? It's hard to say what we've done. I don't know, because you don't want to come across as boastful. You want to come across as I can do the work, but without bragging. So we have to learn how to do that, but we have to teach others how to do that. This work is coming from tradition, from my forefathers, my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great great grandmother. How many people, how many different subcultural groups can actually say this is what these different patterns mean?
Right.
Who can say that?
No, and that's
So-
what makes us
so it
different
is-
is our culture, right? Our culture. That's what identifies us as not a religion; it's a culture.
Right. You have culture and you have subcultural differences, even within our tribes. You mentioned the tribes that are in California. We have our tribes in, Arizona, the tribes throughout the nation, everywhere. Everybody has a very different subcultural difference. And how do we work with that? Right. So again, profit generating, not just revenue generating. Pay me what I'm asking you to pay. Right.
It's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Fair for me,
I'm glad
right?
I'm hearing this. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's what some people ask me. They go, "Do you get paid for what you do?" And unfortunately, I go, "No." And they're like, "You're a philanthropist." Or they gave me titles, and I look these up, and I'm like, "Well, I do it because I do it for the good of because my community needs it." First of all, but yeah, I'm learning right now. I just learned something. I should know my rate. I should have what I do because it is cost. So this is a great conversation right here. So just thank you guys for having me.
And I
in
think it
this
goes back
area.
to the whole education component, and I think
Absolutely.
Dylan, especially with a lot of the media that you're doing, is our people need that, and I mean our people, our indigenous people need that, whether they're Native American, whether they're indigenous Mexican, or they're just Latinos or African American, they all need it. They just don't know how to do it. They need somebody to guide them and push them in that direction.
We need to put systems in place and teach them how to do it. Little by little, we have to be patient because most of the time we're running out of time. We don't have the time, but we have the knowledge, but we don't share it.
Do we know there's so many there's so many
We
best
want
kept
instant results.
Yes.
Yes.
I caught myself doing that as a coach with the football, like expecting everybody to think or be athletic and know. And I learned out coaching, like there's no instant results. It's the process.
Right.
And my first group of boys we started with, they were fifth grade, sixth grade. There was 20 of them. All 20 graduated. That was our first
good
goal, was to
job.
get them. They all graduated high school.
100% success.
Yeah, but now
Congratulations.
they're 3 years
Yeah.
out of high school, and I checked in with them. Half of them are working, half are floating around. So now it hit me, 18 to 24. That's when a lot of them get forgotten about, and that's when they have the most times on their hand, and that's when
They
a
get
lot
in
of them don't
trouble.
want to go to school, but they might listen to you or me and do a conversation once a week instead of going to a classroom. But yeah, that's what just getting to learn that and the knowledge, and that's what not wanting instant results. I guess going through the process with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of the times the parents think that the teachers are going to show them the path, but in reality, education starts at home. So we have to advocate for that. So the parents, even if they're too busy, they got to spend the time with their kids and show them the way, and then the teacher will polish that. And that's part of the learning.
So a good friend of mine, shout out to Candace Middleton, give him a follow. He does a lot of mentoring. He's from the South Lower Brule. So he goes and he teaches schools about that. He goes, you got to remember, kids get their values from home, and then teachers, and then the school. So now they got 11 different values they're trying to all comprehend in their head.
And they're gaining all this experience from
Yeah,
different
and-
knowledge, people that are sharing their
But and it starts at
experiences, yes.
home, at home, and then they get the schools and they try to get everything aligned, like we're all thinking the same. So when they go to one program to the next, it's all the same thinking and channeling they're getting, not different, perspectives, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's a good place to tie it up right
Yeah.
there. Thanks for watching Drum Circle News. We're over here trying to bring tribal sovereignty, economic development, food sovereignty, and cultural trade, spiritual trade, hopefully. I would love to come down to Mexico. I'd love to go to your tribes,
Yes.
learn about your ceremonies, partake in a ceremony. That's something that I would love to do. And thank you for watching.